Hello, and welcome back to Syberia, the world before, where we are following both timelines almost at the same time. Kate in 2005 is retracing Dana's steps from the summer of 1937 in the Silberspiegel refuge in the mountains, where messing with some coffer, uh, with some film equipment or something, maybe, maybe we'll be able to watch a reel that we picked not longer than a moment ago. That is in the previous episode, of course, but okay.
No.
Well, I'm not sure then I have whatever you want. Or maybe I fix the reel here? Oh, I actually do. Okay. I can fix two of them. Oh, take a previous empty one. Oh, I'm so dumb. Okay. Never mind. Yo, old films. They put the piano all the way outside. It's probably heavy as hell. But the sun is really nice right now. I will give it to Yunta. So far, I did not see anything that would differ from Dana's story. That's what we've seen well, when Dana just arrived here in the refuge, right? I mean, yeah, obviously the... No, now that's a scene that I didn't see. Actually creating a painting. I was about to say that we also did not see them departing from the refuge, but it's not clear whether they departed or just like I forgot the word. Something with around. Food around. By the exit.
Interesting footage. Let's
That's
see what's
one.
on the other reel. I should rewind and remove the first reel before putting this one on.
Now, another movie. Let's go. Oh? It's an interactive film. Okay, apparently we are done with the table. Hehehe. It's locked, Leni. You can't get in. Where are you leading me to, Leni? I thought for a moment that you're gonna walk the photo lady on the attic. Junta, right? Sorry. Let's keep on walking. Suspicious.
Leni didn't say she filmed a fight between Dana and Leon. I'd better go back and see her to find out about it.
The choice of clothes in this reel was morning clothes, you know? Kinda pajama clothes. It's not that I'm insinuating anything, although maybe I do.
Demoiselle Leni, I saw the film you shot of Dana and Leon.
So Junta kept it. She got so cross when she discovered I'd rummaged through her stuff. She most certainly had secrets of her own, that one.
I know it was ages ago, but can you recall what happened between Dana and Leon that day?
You do like flogging a dead horse, don't you, Fräulein?
That's true.
But as you please. Since Junta never let me use her camera, I decided not to ask her anymore. Like that, she couldn't say no, could she? And that's when I heard them arguing.
How could you agree to this, Leon? How could you?
I told you I had no choice. The local guide for Baltayar can't do it anymore. He got injured.
Why don't you just refuse then? It's their stupid expedition, not yours.
Look, Dana, I didn't want to tell you, but
But what?
Frank Huss, that brute from the other night, he's the one that made the call here. In other words, he's taking revenge by sending me to the other side of the world with the Origin expedition. And he said that if I refused, something might happen. Not just to me, but to you as well.
What do you mean?
You know what I mean. You're a Vegarian and so are your parents, right?
How they don't see her?
Well, Huss says it won't be long before the Brown Shadow is in power, and he made it clear that something was brewing, and that you and your parents would be first on the list.
What list?
I don't know, but it can't be good. Then he said that other Vegarians would follow.
Dear God.
Dana, darling, the world's gone crazy. Promise me you'll be very careful. It will be all right if you just watch yourself and what you say. I've asked Junta to stand by you just in case. It won't be long, darling. Half a school year at the music academy. I'll be home for Christmas. Promise. Oh, come here now, my pretty Edelweiss.
Don't call me that. You know I don't like it.
Neither
It's
do
true,
I.
though. That's exactly what you are, my pretty Edelweiss.
If you keep that up, Leon Kobatis, I'll find you a nickname too.
Go on then.
All right?
A poopy face. But none of that is offensive. I don't know.
Your nickname will be Highland Painter from now on.
Not sure my Veganese artist friends will like it, but why not? Beautiful, isn't it? I could stay here forever.
There, Fräulein Walker. That is all I have to say. I hope this time you have what you need to continue on your journey.
Thank you, Demoiselle Leni. But there is just one more thing. You mentioned a music academy? They must have ledgers and archives. Maybe I'll be able to find out whether Dana left an address there.
Well, it hasn't moved. It's still in Vargan. Go to the musicians' district. It's right next to the musical square. That's all I can tell you. So if you don't mind, Fräulein.
Thank you. Then that's where I'll continue my search.
Is it really worth your while to keep looking for Dana? Is it not just another pipe dream, Fräulein? I get the impression there have been others.
I prefer to look at it as a calling. Besides, I don't have much choice. Thanks to you, she's a part of me now.
As you wish. I hope you find what you are looking for.
Thank you. Again. I've got everything I need from here, I guess. Best get back to the guest house. Get some rest. I'll go to the music academy first thing in the morning.
Do I have anything new in here? No, I do not. Now off we pop then.
I found her, my sweet Katusha. The girl in the painting. Her name is Dana. Dana Rose.
That's nice, Kate. Real nice.
I'm gonna find out who she was, just like I promised you.
Oh, you're losing it.
Nothing more than a good old adventure to forget your grief, I guess. You should go, Kate, or you're gonna miss the tram.
You should grieve. Just sit down and grieve, you know. The only way out is through.
There will always be a train for you.
Who's the creepy guy? Well, it's unlikely to be Kenton. He seems to fit. Not Kenton, this guy. Dear Mrs. Foster, today I went to the famous refuge in the Silberspiegel mountain where that picture was painted, the one that Kate Walker seems to have become so obsessed about since her escape from the mine. I was expecting it to be one heck of a long journey to reach the refuge, but on the way I bumped into a group of alpinists and technicians from the Institute of Forensic Medicine of Wagen. It turned out they were also heading near the refuge, more precisely to the foot of the infamous pass known as Devil's Pass, to carry out some macabre work. I will spare you the grim details. Anyway, they kindly offered me a lift to the refuge in their helicopter. Once there, I made the acquaintance of the manageress of the place, a sour-tempered old woman named Leni. A sly and taciturn old-timer, she wasn't exactly an easy witness to question, I can tell you. Oh, the more so as our meeting took place under the watch of a kind of hired help who must assist the old woman on a daily basis. He was a colossus of a guy and was careful to make himself visible to me while at the time keeping his face well in the semi-darkness of the common room. Is that who we have seen? Typical intimidation tactics, which of course were totally useless against me. I mean, I'm from New York, right? I managed to winkle the confirmation out of the old dame that Kate Walker had been to the refuge and had questioned the old lady on events that took place in the summer of 1937. Fräulein Leni, she is Demoiselle, ended up caving and begrudgingly told me everything she knew. She spoke a lot about a certain Dana Rose. That's the young woman on Miss Walker's painting. She had apparently fallen for an alpinist by the name of Leon during that summer. All this was during preparation for a secret expedition known as Origin. Financed by the Brown Shadow, it was recorded on film by a female filmmaker in a Vogue at the time, a certain Junta Steinhoff. Apparently this Leon, following a disagreement with the Brown Shadow militiaman, was forced by the fascists to go with the expedition to a faraway land they call Baltaya, so causing a painful separation with this Dana Rose. Armed with this knowledge, Kate Walker then continued her research the following day at the Academy of Music of Wagen. That's where I'm headed now to continue my investigation.
Oh, gosh. What a day.
Yep, still the same bike.
I hope Oscar's okay, wherever he is. I'm not abandoning him. I just need to find him.
Well, apparently it's not your objective, so...
Closed. It's late. Frau Wagner must have gone to bed.
Check the latest discoveries on the computer before you go to bed.
I beg you, Kate, please come back and say goodbye to your mother. Call me so we can organize your return in the best conditions possible. Call me for the sake of what's left of our friendship.
There's no point. It's too late, Olivia.
Baltayar is a Central Asian country located between Russia and China, so Mongolia. The capital and largest town is Kantar. A former British colony, Baltayar was granted independence shortly after the Second World War. Can't confirm. It is mostly mountainous, consisting of several mountain ranges separated by valleys and interconnected by a network of caves and prehistoric galleries. 25% of the country is wooded, and is also delimited by the desert steppes as well as by the Great Lakes, linked together by over 50,000 kilometers of waterways. Baltayar's highest peak is 4,604 meters above sea level and is greatly prized by mountaineers from all over the world. Founded at the beginning of the 19th century, the Academy of Music quickly became a veritable Wagner institution. The Academy trained many generations of internationally acclaimed musicians, especially pianists, so contributing to the cultural influence of the town the world over. The Academy is also an architectural curiosity. Built on Wagen's main square, its prodigious world-famous automaton orchestra attract thousands of tourists and music lovers every year from around the world. The Academy is a place of great importance in Wagen history and played a crucial role in the tragic events of the Second World War. Following the annexation of Ostertal by the Brown Shadow in 1938 and by extension of Wagen, the Brown Shadow turned the Academy into an Kommandatur, or High Field Command. Opening the archives has since enabled historians to prove that its soundproof rehearsal rooms were used by the Brown Shadow as prison cells and interrogation rooms. It was in this building that the last moments of the Wagen offensive were played out. The battle that pitched the Red Army and local resistance fighters against Brown Shadow forces resulted in the liberation of Wagen. Following bitter negotiations with the other Allied powers, the Red Army handed over the main control of the town to American and British forces to allow the Soviets to focus on their ongoing liberation of Central Europe. The Allied forces then made the Academy their general headquarters, so allowing time to initiate a transition of power to the relevant civil authorities. Once this was completed, the Academy once again became a prestigious place for learning music. The Academy's recent history is steeped in controversy. Owing to a large decline in students over the past 20 years, it has recently been announced that the Academy is on the verge of financial collapse. The Council is said to have even taken the decision to close it and to computerize the automaton orchestra, so creating a tourist attraction that can function on a schedule. This decision has triggered loud outcries from the town's heritage advocates who have multiplied appeals. These appeals have all been rejected.
Nothing relevant. The expedition mustn't have led to any major breakthrough, I guess.
The Armor Zone. Read it. God damn it, woman. Huh.
No results about Dana.
Come
She
on.
probably never got famous.
Missed.
It's a shame that Demoiselle Leni is so modest about having been a member of the Resistance. She's a true hero.
The procession first passed down Wagen's symbolic memory lane. A heartfelt tribute was given to resistance fighters who who fought against the fascist invaders throughout the occupation period. Most of the remaining survivors were able to make the journey and deliver moving speeches that deeply touched the assembly. As a reminder, 60 years ago, all the resistance groups of Wagen fought alongside the Red Army and Allied forces to retake the town and Ostertal from the Brown Shadow. There was, however, just one disappointment. Leni Renner, the well-known manageress of the refuge of the Silberspiegel and one of the most revered and emblematic resistance fighters of our town, once again refused to join the commemoration. Our local icon describes her refusal as her own particular way of paying tribute to her comrades fallen in combat and should be taken without the slightest hint of controversy. Given the thunderous applause that punctuated the old lady's name when called out at the podium, the sense of decency and discretion was perfectly understood by all present.
Huh.
Bon?
Junta. Demoiselle Leni told me a lot about her. But was she some kind of spy?
Born in London in 1912 of Austrian parents, Junta Steinhoff is a filmmaker and photographer. She is famous for her major aesthetical influence on the cinema of the 1930s. She was at the center of several controversies over her presumed role during the Second World War. Initially accused of collaborating with the Brown Shadow, for whom she made several commissioned films, Junta Steinhoff later was found to have worked with the Allied secret services, especially the British. The filmmaker lived in London until 1935. She loved mountaineering, sports and photography, which led her to following the international winter sports competitions for different newspapers and specialized magazines. She sojourned regularly in the Alps, especially in the area situated in Ostertal. Fluent in German and keen to meld in with the population of Ostertal, the filmmaker chose the artistic pseudonym of Jutta Steinhoff, so borrowing her mother's maiden name while giving a nod to her Germanic origins and to the heroine of the mountain film Das Blaue Licht, filmed by the very controversial Leni Riefenstahl. Jutta Steinhoff dedicated a large part of her work to filming mountaineers come from the four corners of the world to challenge the renowned rock faces of Ostertal. The beauty of youth and the magnificent landscapes combined in her aesthetical vision, so nurturing her passion for both the cinema and photography. Jutta Steinhoff was accepted into the very close circle of Ostertal alpinists. Hungry for outstanding records, the circle was in those days very politicized and said to be close to the fascist ideas of the brown shadow. These ideas were exemplified by the conquest of untouched peaks, exalting the supposed virtues of a so-called superior race whose pureness was equated, according to the racist ideology, to that of snow-capped summits. It was during this period that Jutta Steinhoff was commissioned to make films for the Brown Shadow. The political movement soon went from fake patron to financier of pure propaganda. Yet when the Second World War broke out, the artistic aura of the filmmaker enabled her to promote her films both in the capitals of the Axis powers as well in the fair numbers of Allied countries. It was revealed that Junta took advantage of these trips to supply precious information to the Allied forces and especially to the Foreign Office in London, who had preventively approached the young woman during the rise of the Brown Shadow in the 1930s. Upon the liberation of Ostertal, Jutta Steinhoff was detained for a few days for her role in the Brown Shadow's propaganda machine. Her status as a double agent soon enabled her to be cleared. The filmmaker has since kept herself to herself, having returned to live in her native England.
The more I discover about Dana, the more I get the feeling I'm only scratching the surface of Vaughan's history. Oh, but hey, let's call it a day. I really should go to bed now.
I think we read this newspaper. It's the same day, right?
Do not disturb. Well, all right then.
I'm curious as hell. I'm sorry.
Vaughan Institute for Forensic Science and Medicine. Charming. Colonel Blake.
Okay. This is a bad way to sleep. You might turn, this thing will fall or you crush it or something. Just put it aside and then you can fall asleep. Ha, New Jersey, winter 1983, 83, 83rd. Okay.
Is that you, Katie?
Yes, Mom! I mean, who else can it be? Come on, I've been cooped up in my room for hours. Jeez, pulling my hair out, trying to figure out the math problem Miss Wormwood gave us. I deserve a break, right?
Absolutely not.
Looks like Mom's friends came over again last night. She's been seeing them a lot since what happened to Dad. Maybe too much. Another letter for Dad. Last time it took Mom days to find the strength to open it.
Who was he that?
Grandpa and Grandma from New York gave it to me for my last birthday. I really ought to read it, or at least dog-ear the pages so it looks like I did.
You call it dog ear? What a weird name. Our dearest Sarah, your father and I would like to express our deepest sorrow at what happened to Richard. We are worried about your welfare, darling Sarah. You might be a fully grown adult, but we still worry about you. We wanted you so much, and you were our miracle child, so even now as a young woman with a daughter of your own, it's hard for us to see you suffer. You've always been our pride and joy. Just remember, darling, we're here for you should you need us. We'll always be here for you as long as we breathe. We shall be with you whatever happens in the spring for your birthday. Huh? Remember, just let us know if you want us to stay with you for a while until you are back on your feet, and we shall be down as fast as you can say Jack Robinson. With our deepest love, Mama and Papa.
The piano that Mom ordered will soon be here. Couldn't bring myself to tell her that I wanted a drum kit instead.
Well, too late for that now.
Mom bought those again. Wow. I hope I get to travel around the world too when I grow up.
Oh, yes, you will. That girl was a cool one. I approve the choice of the magazine.
Oh, hello, Munchkin.
Hey, Mom.
Is everything okay, Katie?
Yeah, just ignore your mom. Tell her nothing.
We haven't seen Grandpa and Grandma for a long time. Mom says they'll probably come over from New York on her birthday. You forgot your music box.
Be careful with that, please, Munchkin.
Where'd this come from?
I already told you. Your grandma and grandpa gave it to me when I was little.
Doesn't look like it's from New York, though.
I don't know. Must have been in the family forever.
Oh, define forever.
I just love it.
You've always liked it. Ever since you were little.
Will you give it to me when I'm big?
Maybe, if you're a good girl. When
Oh,
I get
she will
old.
not be.
So when will that be then?
She will abandon you and will not
Later.
visit your funeral. You could say that she will get this thing over your dead body.
But when?
In a very, very long time, I guess. When I'll be gone.
Dear Kate, wherever you are now, despite the sad news it contains, I hope this letter reaches you in time.
Oh, give it a rest, Olivia. Ah, what the hell? You want me to call you Olivia? Fine. I've survived worse criticism. I shouldn't put it off. I better call Olivia while I have the courage.
But how
Who
about
do you think you are, Olivia Foster? It's
some
easy to judge
introspection
and
first?
lecture me from New York. You know nothing about what I've gone through, of what I've had to endure since leaving Hans.
So where can I introspect? Oh yeah, here.
Don't know why I should be so nervous about making a simple phone call. I mean, hey, I've crossed Europe, been in all sorts of danger, and yet look at me here. I'm worrying about talking to my former best friend. Oh, and I think I used to spend my life on the phone gossiping with her. So what do I risk? Criticism? The one who missed her mother's funeral because she was breaking rocks at the bottom of a mine. In any case, Olivia hasn't stopped criticizing me ever since I left Valladolid on Hans Vorarlberg's train. I'm the one who should be criticizing her. I mean, come on. Isn't she the one who took advantage of my absence to get her hooks into Dan? Now look at me, mulling over old grudges. That's exactly what I wanted to escape from when I decided to go with Hans in his train to Syberia. And then there was the departure with the Yukon tribe, their seasonal migration. Come on, Kate, for Christ's sake, stop procrastinating. Just make the darn call and get it over with.
You can do it. You can do it. The tension.
Hello? Hello? Mr. Kenton, is that you? Who's there, please?
Got your letter, Olivia.
Kate, I sent it 2 years ago.
I know, things have been complicated.
Complicated. I see. And so when are you coming back to New York? You know, to visit your mother's grave?
You know I can't come back, Olivia. I'm still wanted by the police over the sale of the Vorarlberg factory.
Oh, I haven't forgotten, believe me. If only you knew how much the accusations hurt your mother. Visits from the police, the requisitions, and just when
Where's
she
the
was
cable?
diagnosed too. And yet the poor woman never stopped hoping that her daughter would come back one day. Or at least call to help her in her final days.
I don't have to justify myself to you, Olivia, or to anyone else.
Kate, Okay, listen to me. I thought you had plenty of time to think about how you abandoned all of us. Me, your mother, Dan, or even that poor Mr. Kenton. And maybe felt at least some remorse. But I guess I was dreaming. All you do is keep chasing castles in the sky and ignore those who care about you.
I don't think I can understand why she's angry. I mean, we do live in a slightly different worlds, no? Nah.
Are you done?
Oh, Kate.
The
I
best
should have
defense is
known.
offense.
And I should never have asked you to call me. Goodbye, Kate. I hope you find whatever it is you've been looking for these past 3 years. One thing's for sure, though. You wanted to be alone, and that's how you're gonna stay.
Well, I didn't like the idea of calling her in the first place. Okay, let's start to justify myself. That did not go well. Don't slam the doors, it's the middle of the night, people are sleeping. Shit. The problem, the foundational problem, is that eventually castles either fall down back on the ground or you just run out of castles to follow. And she will have to return. Okay, she might be able to settle down somewhere else, like, I don't know, Silberspiegel refuge. Alright, and deal with the sour-tempered Leni on a constant basis.
Okay, let's go, kiddo. Another day, another page. A new day in Vaughan. I must take the tram to that music academy where Dana Rose was a student in the 1930s. With a bit of luck, they'll have kept her records.
Oh, you took all the photos. Very nice of you. Do we have more stuff here? Yeah, something about Leon. Yeah. Well, the letter is gone.
Demoiselle Leni told me the music academy is near the musical square. Maybe Frau Wagner can tell me more.
Well, it's right over there, so. Oh, some bread. Grab something to eat. Come on.
Ah, hello, Miss... Ah, Miss Walker. Did you sleep all right?
Fine, thanks.
Now, is there anything you need?
I went to the Silberspiegel refuge yesterday. Oh, magnificent.
I won't disagree with that, Miss Walker. Those mountains are the pride of the town, just like old Leni.
Leni is highly respected in Vaughan because she was a resistance fighter during World War II, right? Well, I heard about it when I was at the refuge.
This poses to be.
Leni Renner might be a grumpy old spinster, but to us she's still a heroine. Pity the same can't be said of her father, though. Still, everyone has their cross to bear, as they say.
Your
What
father?
do you mean?
No point gossip-mongering. The war was a dark time in Vaughan for everyone, see? Best not stir up old memories.
Can you tell more about the father, or did I just miss it?
I'd like to go to the music academy. Can you tell me how to get there?
You just need to take the tram northbound to the musical square.
Is there anything I should know about the academy?
To tell the truth, it's a little glum nowadays. Especially when you think it was once the jewel of the town. The students came from all over the world to perform on the musical square, you know. Pity. It's since lost its panache of old through lack of students and means.
Everything seems to link the person I'm looking for with the Second World War and the rise of the Brown Shadow.
Terrible times were those, my dear. Especially when Vaughan was occupied after the annexation of Ostertal. Thank God I was born just after the liberation.
I see. But I guess you had to grow up with the after effects of those events.
Oh yes, dear. There was a kind of conspiracy of silence where everyone suspected each other, even their close friends. Did any of them collaborate with the enemy? And if so, was it through like-mindedness or simple cowardice? Were they responsible in one way or another for for the arrest or death of a family member.
I must have been awful.
A terrible time, really.
Well, the person I'm looking for is from the same generation.
You'll just have to hope she managed to survive the madness then.
Imagine if Dana
Well,
is
I
still
guess I
alive.
should get going. Thank you for your time, Frau Wagner.
Feel free to ask if you have any more questions.
I mean, Leni is from that time, right? And they were like of somewhat close age. So could it be that Dana is still alive and we might be able to meet her? That would be very cool. So you do have like all other places, but you can only travel to one of them. Interesting. Show me outside. I am against taking fragile objects on such journeys. I don't like losing or breaking stuff, like at all, regardless of how small or minuscule or mundane the thing is. Like, let's say I have a cable I charge my phone with. If this cable will be gone somewhere, well, probably first 15 minutes I will be angry as hell at myself, obviously. Borderline panicky. And then I will try to find exactly the same cable in some shop or whatever. Now, imagine losing a musical box that is a family heirloom. Like, no way. Dear Mrs. Foster, I hope this finds you well. I must admit that your last letter left me slightly confused. So Miss Walker called you a few days before you sent it, right? It's deplorable that she has once again refused to conduct herself reasonably and instead became hostile towards you. I fully understand your reservations as to trying to make Miss Walker return to the USA. Can anyone really help someone who refused to be helped, who refuses to be helped? Is there a limit to the number of times you can be pushed away by the very person you are trying to help? Believe me, Olivia, these are valid questions, and questions that I frequently ask myself too. Haven't I too been treated harshly by Miss Walker and her various travel buddies? I was only trying to help her. But it's important to put things into perspective. Kate Walker is still in mourning. In fact, she is in mourning not just for her mother, but also for her friends Katyushka and Oskar. When she's alone in the middle of the night, who knows what terrible memories come to haunt her. I suspect it's these feelings that are making her hostile to those who are only trying to act in her best interest. Wasn't it the case when she made that night call to you? So, without due respect, no, I cannot give up the hunt for Miss Walker. So I guess it's just too bad if I have to go on now without the generous patronage of your good self and your husband Dan. My latest lead shows that Kate Walker went to the Academy of Music, and so that's where I'm heading today to try to find her. It's quite literally the beginning of the game, right?
Don't do that. Stop it.
Oscar?
Oh dear. Help! Help! Someone! Help! Put me down!
Oscar? Bet you can't catch it!
Don't you dare! Put it down! Right now!
All right then. Oscar!
Are you all right?
I had a bit of a bumpy ride, but I am glad to see you, Kate Walker.
Oscar! Oh, I've missed you so much.
I say, this display of emotion is most unreasonable, Kate Walker.
Not
I
really.
do hope you don't plan such profusion every time I change bodies.
Can't
It's
promise
just
you that.
I've been worrying about you. Where were you, Oscar?
Well, the mechanical instinct of my host took me for a ride, all across town. It took me the whole night to tame it, and that's when I bumped into those little rascals.
Yeah, lucky I was in the area, huh?
Quite. So, Kate Walker, what has happened since we parted at the Balaton River?
Maybe we should just sit down for a second, Oscar. This might take a while.
Well, she mined some salt, Oscar.
And that's when Demoiselle Leni gave me the address of the Music Academy in this neighborhood.
I see, Kate Walker.
You must think I'm crazy, huh? Running after that girl, Dana, who must have died ages ago.
Well, Kate Walker, you know I have difficulty understanding illogical thought patterns. But in the end, what I do understand is that you need to find her. Is that correct, Kate Walker?
Yes, that is correct, Oscar. I'm glad you're taking it so well.
I don't see any fundamental difference between crossing Europe in search of mammoths, traveling on ostriches in an irradiated zone, or following your double. These are not things an automaton such as I take into consideration.
Any other thoughts, Oscar?
Well, I guess I could ask you where we are heading, but truth be told, it doesn't really matter. I will follow you wherever you lead, and for as long as you require my services, Kate Walker. That's what an automaton does.
Thank you, Oscar.
Oh dear, I hope you're not going to become physical, are you?
I can't
No,
promise you
I
that.
was just going to give you a pat on the back.
I would rather you refrain from having such thoughts. I am not a dog, you know. Whatever next?
Anyway, we'd better get going, Oscar. And you'd better keep out of sight.
Oh dear, I don't suppose I have any choice.
I was hoping he would actually follow me, but it seems like he'll be traveling through sewers. No, no, my bag, of course. Oscar Mark III.
I'm so glad he's back.
It's all very humiliating for a sophisticated automaton like myself, you know.
Yes, yes,
Is it
absolutely.
really necessary for me to be shut up in here, Kate Walker?
Sorry, Oscar, but I don't want to run the risk of losing you again. Victims of the genocide committed by the fascists during the Second World War. Oh, so many deaths. I hope Dana made it through.
I don't see her name anywhere here.
Bullet holes. The brown shadow must have shot people dead here. How horrible.
There is no trace of this place being a ghetto anymore. Should have left my name, you know. So where I can introspect myself. It's such a fancy neighborhood right now. Unbelievable. This bench looks like a cool place for introspection. Right? Yeah, that looks like a music academy, to be honest. I thought for some reason that the clock tower is a music academy, that's why I went this way.
Wow. Pity I don't have time for some sightseeing.
The question still stands. What's my introspection place?
An automaton musician.
Not the
Looks
first one.
exactly like Hans's
Yep.
style. Like at Bohgstadt. That brand was everywhere in New York when I left. And now they've even got branches here. Looks like they've tried to blend all these new shops into the original facades. Doesn't make it any less a tourist trap, though.
And that should be an entrance to the square. Yes. Employee of the month. Ah, that must be you.
Guten Tag.
Guten Tag, Fräulein. What can I do for you?
Introspection, please.
Do you know anything about the Wagen Music Academy?
It's the large building across the square there. Used to be quite renowned worldwide, actually.
But not anymore?
Well, from what I gather, hardly anyone studies there nowadays. I wouldn't be surprised if it were closed.
Well, what happened?
Budget cuts from the town council, I guess. The academy can't be very lucrative.
I see. How come the square is so well known?
Because of the mechanical orchestra there. It used to be quite the attraction. Every year, the Academy's best student would play along with it, as did renowned musicians from around the world.
Oh, that sounds intriguing. Is it scheduled to play today?
I'm afraid not. Several years back, the town council discussed computerizing it. But the plan never went through, and no one has ever heard its music since.
Sad.
There are a lot of tourists on the square.
Indeed. It attracts thousands of customers every year. A veritable boon for us retail shops.
And for the people of the town, too?
I wouldn't know about that. I live on the outskirts, as do most
yeah.
of the people. What with the rents being as high as they are here, you know?
Thank you. I should go now.
Auf Wiedersehen, Fräulein. Come back again.
Should have tried to upsell me something. Come on, man, you're not employee of the month. Okay, with that disappointment, let's wrap it up over here because I wanted introspection to make a save. This talk serves to this purpose as well, so fine with me. Now, it was a nice episode, slightly spoiled by our talk with Olivia. Was it in this episode? I'm recording several of them, so I might mess things up. I'm terribly sorry if I'm referring you to not to this episode, but in this case, just go and check out the other episode. Yeah, duh. So, a nice episode all in all. I would like to say thank you for staying with me. I hope you enjoy my company and my gameplay. If that's the case, please leave me a like, subscribe to the channel, or otherwise let me know down in the comments what I can improve for you. I hope to see you next time. Have a nice day out there, and bye.